in our previous lecture, we had actually roasted some of the founders who are not actually founders, who think themselves as founders, but they're not founders. So, if you really want to be a startup founder, the first thing that differentiates a startup from a small business is that a startup actually has to solve a problem that market or the society is facing. So, if you are opening, say, a small restaurant or a tea stall or a shop that is giving tea and coffee, that is not a startup. Anybody else can do that, and 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 that is not a problem that you are solving for the society. They are very good businesses, I have absolutely no doubt about it. People can make millions if they do it well, and you should do it. There you should, in fact, you should do those things that can earn you money. You need not go and become a startup founder every time. Startup Becoming a startup founder is not easy. You should be having the capability of identifying the problems, bringing out the solution, and executing the solution to create a product or service. It is much more difficult than just saying this. So, coming to this, that is, the every startup starts from a problem, and most of the founders, they don't know how to identify a problem worth solving. So what they do, they, as they see in the reels and the social media, they confuse their passion to be the solution to some problem. So, for example, if I am passionate about cooking, I will think that I can start a restaurant, or I can start a food delivery app or something like that. But I being passionate about cooking, and I actually having the skill set of cooking good food, that is, I actually being a good cook, are two different things. So, my first point is, you should be able to absolutely detach yourself from any emotions and think clearly. For this, you need to sit quietly for some time, for many days in a row, or maybe months in a row, and go deep inside yourself first, identify your strengths and weaknesses, find out what your passion is, what your interest areas are. So, take a small notebook. if you are if you are a first time founder, or you want to be founder, go and take a small notebook. Say, purchase a 20 rupee notebook. On one page, list out your passion or your interest areas. What all are your interest areas? Your interest area can be drawing, can be traveling, can be swimming, whatever, sports, anything, right? So, and on one more page, note down your skill sets. What can you do? What have you learned so far? What are you trained to do? Or what have you learned in your job? Or what have you done in your job in the last many years? What have you studied in the last many years that you can do very well? I'm not saying what you can do on an average, what like what everybody else can do. No, what you can do extremely well, that very few can copy, or very few would be able to do as good as you. So those are your skill sets, right? So, in case, now this is again easy said than done, because many people don't even know what their skill sets are. If I have seen engineering students, when I ask them, they would have studied chemical engineering, mechanical engineering, electronics engineering, and if I ask what are your skill sets, they will say communication skills. So, what about the electronic engineering or the chemical engineering that you have learned? So, to find the problem, you need to first identify your passions and skill sets. That is the first step that you have to take. And for identifying the skill set is not that easy. Believe me, this is one of the toughest parts, but it is worth spending and investing time on this. And be as detached as possible, just like given in the Bhagavad Gita. Be very detached. Don't let your emotions rule you. Don't let your emotions fool you by saying that no, you are born to this. Like for example, my passion can be singing, but that is not my skill set. If I sing, donkeys will come, or people may beat me up, thinking that, stop, you bloody fellow. So I hope I'm clear. What is the difference between passion and your skill sets, and you can describe and define both in a separate sheet of paper. This is the first step. Second step is to identify what are the overlapping areas. That is, some part of your passion would be related to your skill sets. Those areas you list out separately, right? So, say if you are, uh, say if you are passionate about gadgets, and you are also an electrical engineer or a mechanical engineer or an electronics engineer or something. So you find out those areas which are common to your passion and the skill sets. Those are the areas where you have got the maximum chances to do well. I'm not saying there you won't be able to do anything good if you do something else, but these are the areas, technically speaking, these are the areas where you have maximum chances to do well. Now comes the second part. That is not the second part, sorry, third part. That is identifying the problem statement. Now, since you have identified your passion and the skill sets, now you need to identify what problem you should be solving. What are the problems? If you solve, you will be able to generate revenue, earn good money, right? So how do you find a problem, right? Finding a problem, social media and all, it's fine. Most of the people, listen to friends, family, or they get influenced by that, which is fine, which is what is a human behavior. I don't want to say anything about that, but there is a scientific way in which you would be able to find a problem statements which you can solve. So first thing is, you should be observing your work environment. And if you are working somewhere, if you are in a job, observe your work environment. Speak with your colleagues, speak with your clients, speak with your vendors in the supply chain, those who are helping you, helping your company make the products that your company sells. Those are your vendors. To whom your company sells the products, those are your clients, and the people with whom you are working, those are your colleagues. So speak with all of them and ask them what is the problem that they are facing, especially the clients and the vendors. What is the problem that they are facing which is not getting solved somehow? Now, if some of the founders who may be students, they may say, I am a student, I don't have any work experience. So for you, you may be studying something, you may be studying some engineering, you may be studying some science, or you may be studying arts, I don't know. So whatever you are studying, you map the industries where your course has got the use cases. That is where the people who pass out from your course are ideally supposed to go. I'm not saying are going. The reason being that nowadays you can see many, even some of the BCom graduates working in IT companies. So no, your where the use case of your core area. For example, if you are, say, studying physics, then physics is a huge ocean. I mean, there are virtually every problem would have some or the other root in physics. So what is the area where your subject can provide solutions to those problems? Or what are the problems in your subject for which the industry, I'm not saying about the scientific community works mostly on the theoretical problems. I want to you to check out the industry, those are related to your course that you are working on. Go and speak with the people in that industry and ask them, what are the problems that you are not able to solve, you want it to be solved but you are not able to solve. List it down. It will take time. Again, let me tell you, there are whatever I am telling you, there is absolutely zero shortcut anywhere. If you think this can be done in 1 or 2 days, then you're a fool. Leave it. You will take, at least invest your time, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. And that's why I tell everybody, don't leave your primary source of income. Don't leave your job till you find out a problem worth solving. Worth your time and effort, worth your energy, worth everything that you are risking it to be. Because going into a startup is risky, definitely risky. And if the reward doesn't match the risk, then it's not worth taking. So in order to find the reward, you need to find what the problem is. So invest your time in speaking with the industry people, speaking with your colleagues, friends and family. I would suggest to avoid, because most of the people, when you speak with your friends and family, they would mostly discourage you. They will give you conflicting opinions. They may get you confused. They may give you the brain fog. So In fact, don't discuss anything. In fact, don't even go to LinkedIn and post about your company. Like I roasted some of the founders in my last video. Don't do that. LinkedIn and all comes very, very later. Social media comes very later. When you have created something, then let the market speak about you, not you speaking about yourself. Right. So the step number first is to uh, find the matching areas between your passion and the skill sets. Step number two is to first is to list out your passion and skill set. Step number two is to find out the matching areas in your passion and skill set. Step number three is to find a problem worth solving by speaking with your industry and the market. That is the market and consumer behavior analysis. I will be making one separate, even a 10-20 hour video will, or a course would not be enough for the market research and consumer behavior analysis. But this is the most important part that can make or destroy your startup, or you can say virtually any startup that you can see which has succeeded, or you can see which has failed and done and dusted. That is because of the market behavior, market research, and the consumer behavior analysis. Market research means finding out the number of people who would be willing to pay you and what price they would be willing to pay you. And consumer behavior analysis means whether the consumer behavior permits the solution to be accepted, whether the consumer will accept your solution or not. So only if they accept, then only they will pay. The thing is that, for example, a simple example, if you take nicotine chewing gums, you would be seeing in the market. But nicotine chewing gums, despite being safer than ingesting smoking a cigarette, nicotine chewing gums have not been able to replace cigarettes so far. They have not succeeded in replacing cigarettes, despite the huge uh, warnings about cancer and health, what all losses can happen to the health being printed on the packets of the cigarette. Still the cigarette sales are high, and the nicotine chewing gums hardly anybody knows. So that is the consumer behavior analysis. Consumer behavior prefers smoking than chewing nicotine gum, despite nicotine gum being a good product. So this is how, this is the point that I'm trying to put, that understanding consumer behavior is very important when you are studying about a problem. Because if the consumer doesn't accept your solution, they will not purchase it, right? So this is your step number 3. Now comes, once you have listed out all the problems, then comes the part of categorizing the problems. Now you need to categorize those problems into 3 categories, major three categories. First is the oxygen, second is the painkillers, and third is the vitamins or supplements. So oxygen is those problems for which customer will pay anyhow, willingly, unwillingly, whatever kali deke, whatever deke, they will pay. They will pay you. So just like your electricity bill, or the bill for your Geo, or Airtel, or even nowadays even the Netflix, Amazon Prime, they are also the oxygen products, because people want to have some entertainment. So oxygen products are those for which people will pay, willingly, unwillingly, people will pay, and those are the best problems to be solved, best problems, because you can make millions. The biggest companies that you see, unicorns, popcorns, everything, they are built on the oxygen problems. Nvidia creates chips nobody else can create, and your computer, AI, nothing will work without that. And nobody else is there who can create as good as them, right? Google creates search, Google creates Gmail, lot many services, maps, which you have to use, you have no other option. So these are the oxygen problem statements. Second category is the painkillers. Painkillers means people will pay you willingly. uh, I mean, people, there won't be much resistance from the people to pay, because there is some pain point that you are addressing, and people will not have any much of a problem in giving you the money for that. Third is the vitamins. So vitamins are the good to have products. I mean, if you have, fine; not have, fine. So vitamins are those problems which should be your last priority to solve, because such kind of problems, even if you put the solution, you will have to spend heavily on marketing, because those are push products. You have to push the product to the customer to sell those products. They are not pull products. Pull products means you create, customer will be pulled towards you, and you just have to sell. So oxygen category, painkiller category are the pull products. Vitamins and supplements, they are the push products basically. So you will have to go convince, beg to the customer, "Sir, purchase, take it, I will give you this discount, that discount," and all those things. So that is, so the vitamin category you can create, but that should be your last priority. If you can find a problem statement that comes in the oxygen category, then absolutely you would kill it, like they call in the Gen Z lingo. I don't know much about Gen Z lingo. I'm a millennial, or maybe older. I don't know what I am. So, and now the last and the most important point. Just when you find the problem statement to be solved, you should work on what should be the solution that you should be offering. You should be absolutely clear that you should be able to execute the solution and bring the product or service to the market. For that entire research, whatever market research, all those things that need to be done, that you should do. It's a micro learning course, so my bandwidth to explain is very limited over here, but those founders who want to have a broader understanding, or want to discuss something, can definitely get in touch with me. So once you get the solution to the problem, you should not leave your job. Once you get the solution to the problem, no, that is not the point. When you leave the job, then you should arrange for getting the PMF, or the product market fit. So what is the meaning of a product market fit? Product market fit simply means that the market is willingly or accepting to pay for your products. Market has accepted your product, and people are there who would be willingly paying for your products. Now that won't come in, just by thinking about a solution. It won't come. There is a huge cycle. There are companies or startups which have taken 2 years, 3 years, or even more to reach the PMF for the product market fit. Only when you reach the PMF for the product market fit, then and then only you will be getting any sort of funding. Please do understand that. If you think that somebody will fund your idea, nobody is going to fund your idea. People fund solutions, and people fund execution of the solution, not some random idea. So now coming to the most important point, that is, when you find your solution, take your solution to the market, discuss the solution with the consumers, with the end user, and with the entire users in the value chain, that is the vendors also. For example, say I am creating a new category of mobile phones, for example. So I should be giving that mobile phone to my end user, that is who would be using that. Along with that, I should be discussing with all the vendors who would be supplying me the parts for the mobile phones, whether they would be able to provide me that quality of parts, whether those parts would sink in, whether one part would be fitting properly with the other part or not. All these things I need to work out. This entire thing is part of your market research only, market research of your solution only. When you have done this, and you have calculated the costing, pricing, and the margin, that is costing, that how much is it going to cost. And when you find the costing, we will be creating another lecture for the costing and the pricing part, but just for the intro, whenever you do the costing, please include the entire cost. What I mean, include the timing and the opportunity cost also. That is, say if a component is, say, taking 3 months to create, then include 3 months opportunity cost. That is, what if it had been created on the first day itself and not 3 months? Then you could have sold the product 3 months earlier, and you could have started generating the revenue. So that revenue that you could have generated is your opportunity cost, or that salary that you could have got if you were in a job rather than breaking your head with the product market fit. That is also your opportunity cost. So calculate all the costs and do the costing, and after that add your margins and do the pricing, and after that ask your consumer whether you will buy at this price point or not. Consumer may say yes, consumer may say no. Those who are saying yes, ignore. Those who are saying yes, ignore, because most of the, when you do consumer analysis, again we will come to it, when you're doing consumer analysis, most of the people will say yes only because they don't want to discuss anything further. They don't want to know it. It is human behavior to not go into any direct confrontation with anyone. So if he says no, he will have to explain why he's saying no. So he will say, ah, yes, yes, I will purchase, it's good product. This would be a common response. So don't get fooled by this kind of common response. People, until and unless thousands of people say yes to you, then and then only believe 5% that okay, it can work. Don't be very happy or very confident and go and post on LinkedIn that we have got good traction. We get pitch decks from founders who have spoken to 10 clients and they say we are getting enormous market traction. I don't know what kind of, who those 10 peoples are. Did they went and speak to Thor and uh, Iron Man? So so calculate your costing, pricing and margin, and evaluate whether at that pricing will you be able to sell the product or not. So this is a brief overview. I would try to concise this as much as possible. When I teach this to my class, it takes me quite a good number of hours and lectures to teach this, but I have tried to concise it, so that because this is a micro learning course and we have got limited bandwidth. So any discussions or any doubts or any queries, or if you are building anything, then you can definitely come to Ram Ventures. We will definitely try our level best to help you out. Thank you.